G'day church, and welcome to this second email devotional message direct to your inbox that is part of our disciple series that we're doing at C3 Wallandilly Camden during the month of February. If you haven't been in church for a while, I encourage you to come back and get involved. We're actually unpacking this whole theme of disciple, what it means to actually be a Christian, a follower of Christ, and we're doing it bit by bit during the month. I'm personally preaching 2 messages on Sundays. If you've not been in church, I'd encourage you to get the podcast and listen to those. We've also got 2 Connect group discussion teachings that I'm doing. And then in the Connect groups, you've got opportunity to discuss questions and support one another and encourage one another. As well as that, there's these 2 messages that I'm putting into your inbox where we'll build upon some other aspects of the teaching. As well as that, other speakers will be speaking on similar topics as well on the weeks that I'm not preaching. Our intention is to, at the end of the month, get a good solid understanding of what it means to actually be a follower of Christ. And today, I wanted to speak about the importance of learning to self-evaluate, learning to grow ourselves. See, as young Christians, we don't expect young Christians to be able to do all that themselves, just like we don't expect young children to know how to grow. But as they mature, we tend to give them a little bit more autonomy, a bit more space to grow and learn. And that's a process as we all mature. Same in the Christian life. And if you want to be a mature Christian, you need to become more self-aware, more aware of your own need and to evaluate your own levels of growth so that you can make changes in your life to become more mature. And I wanted to kind of introduce this theme, and then next week in your Connect group, we're going to go into it in some more depth. But I thought if we could do some background before you get to your Connect group, then you'll get the most out of it when you do get there. Next week, we're going to talk about 4 spheres of your life where you need to mature. 4 spheres that we all experience in our lives, and we need to be growing in our faith in all of them. And you can be mature in one and not mature in another. And our process, our growth process, I guess, is to mature in all of them. And those 4 spheres that we're going to talk about are 1, our relationship with God, 2, our relationship to our church, 3, our home life, and 4, our relationship to the world around us. And we're going to do that by examining the book of Ephesians, which talks about all of those spheres. And so even if before you get to Connect next week, it'd be really great if you could perhaps even read the book of Ephesians. It only takes about 20 minutes, 6 chapters, 20 minutes to read the whole thing, but I guarantee it'll be 20 minutes well spent. When you get there, you'll get a lot more out of your discussion and the teaching. So I want to encourage you now just to take a few moments between now and then to read that book and then to assess yourself and look at these areas of maturity that you're in and reflect honestly on each of those 4 spheres and ask yourself, where am I at in my maturity? Can I point to evidence in my life, in my attitude, in my behavior, in my character that I can show demonstrates to myself that I'm growing in those 4 spheres? For example, in sphere number 1, your relationship with God, you could ask questions like this. How's my devotional life? Am I reading and praying regularly? Am I reading the Bible and praying regularly? Good, simple questions that can assess, are you maturing? Because otherwise you can fool yourself into thinking you're maturing, but you're not really. In relationship to your church, are you maturing in your relationship with church? Sphere number 2. Ask yourself this. How's my attendance at church? Am I involved? At what level of volunteering am I involved in? Am I volunteering as much as I know I should be? Because it gets tick a box and say, yes, I'm volunteering, but inside you may know, actually, God wants me to do more than that. I should be volunteering at a higher level. I should be committing at a higher level. Does the way I spend my time, my talent, my treasure prove that I love His church? Or is church low on the priority list financially and time-wise and gift-wise? That's the sorts of practical things you can assess yourself on. I'm not assessing you. I'm asking you to assess yourself as a maturing believer. In your home life, are you relating to your spouse and family members better than you have in the past? Can you track and go, actually, I'm more balanced now. I love them. I show them my love more than I have in the past. Am I the same person at home as I am in public? Well, there's a difficult one, a challenging one for all of us. Do we behave the same? Because we can have all this show outside in the world, the church, in our relationship with God. We can fool ourselves into thinking we've done all that. But if we don't have our home life as best as it can be, then we're fooling ourselves into thinking we're mature. And lastly, in the sphere of the world around us, you can ask some questions like this to yourself. Am I building relationships with unchurched people with a view to leading them to Christ? Do I actually have relationships out there where I'm seeking to build relationship with a long-term goal of introducing them to Jesus? In my workplace, am I operating with integrity and honesty? Am I a hard worker? Am I a diligent worker? Or am I slacking off? It's a sad fact that a lot of employers will say, even Christian employers will say they don't employ Christians because Christians are slack, because they don't want to apply themselves. But Christians should have the highest ethical standards in this sort of thing. So there's some good questions that you can ask yourself and prepare yourself ahead of next week's Connect Group discussion. All right, well, God bless you. Have an incredible week. I love you guys, and I'm praying for you constantly. If you haven't been in church for a while, I'd love to see you on Sunday. Really look forward to seeing you then. God bless.